So Nick, how did the Arctic SS Chevron get its name? Does it mean something, Arctic SS?
Yeah, the Arctic is a legacy name. Back when Alma first started, they had just some exotic names for different models. That's sort of standardized now, moving on. But really, what you is pertinent information is the SS, which means side seal, which is the way that we fold the film over, and then we seal on the side.
This system minimizes film usage. Let's put some numbers on that, Nick. How much less and
Yeah, it's
versus what?
it's a tricky question. It really depends on what the current package the product or the customer is using. But I've seen any range from 20 to 50% in reduction. And that's really because customers start off early to market with low volume pre-made packages, and obviously those bags are limited in size. They are customized at some point, but there are some standardized sizes. And when you're being cost conscious on your package, you're buying some standard size, what they call header bags. If you're not familiar, I do have a photo of one I could share with you here. So these are traditional header bags or pre-made bags that a film supplier will produce. They also will have roll stock materials. Many of them do, but for low volume, you'll be buying these three-sided sealed bags with different levels of Tyvek penetration. Depending on the kill rates you need and the size of your product. There's a lot of factors that go into the sterilization cycle. But you can see here from full Tyvek web on one side to just small header size bags.
Okay. And so you see this machine in a series of volume growths for customers?
Yeah, it's a capacity expansion as well as adding adding in some quality into the product like vision inspection or pulling any data as well. We're able to do OPC UA and do serial number track and trace if needed to that level.
OPC UA, could you
Yes,
spell that out?
That's just a fancy way of saying we're gonna take data from our equipment and maybe integrate it into your SAP or SCADA system. We're just talking to your network. Yeah.
Okay, great. One of the other things that you tout about this machine is it's able to help companies reach or move along in the journey for some of their sustainability goals, specifically because minimizing the film usage. But along with reducing the waste and reducing the money and the cost of the waste, how important are you finding your customers when it comes to sustainability today in the medical industry?
Yeah, I think what we find today is that there's more areas to investigate that's sustainable within moving from pre-made bags to a roll stock machine. The sustainability term really has been kind of focused towards recycling. A lot of people think that's the sustainability route, but really in packaging equipment, our main focus has always been to reduce the amount of material and increase the capacity. So really our company has been sustainable all along. It's just been a new buzzword, but digging into the other areas to investigate is if you have a big SKU mix of products and you're buying many size different pre-made bags, you have to inventory those. There's a lot of costs associated with shipping that material or those pre-made bags, storing them, getting the right SKU to the right bag. And then reducing that pre-made bag to the right size package of your product, you can now look at some savings in your sterilization process. You can increase your pack factor into your boxes, so you're getting more products out to the customer. So all those factors, will and they go into the sustainability calculation.
And I know that the customers of your customer, hospitals and whatnot, also appreciate the cube efficiency or storage efficiency of smaller packs as well.
Yeah, I know I've done some hospital visits and there's not a lot of space for the products that they keep in inventory. They have a larger inventory space, but then where the nurses and doctors have access, it's a limited space on a rack.
Yep. Well, I am most familiar with horizontal flow wrap systems
Mhm.
being used in the food industry, and they're widely used in food for a lot of different products, and including a lot of candy bars. Which,
Yep.
unfortunately, I think that's where I know of the flow wrappers the most. My personal contribution for that comes from that. But your Arctic SS Chevron is designed specifically for medical and pharmaceutical packaging applications. So what's a little bit different about this machine, and how does it specifically address those needs of the healthcare markets?
Sure. Yeah. So this, all of our base equipment is, built on a food type chassis, full washdown. So IP rated enclosures. But when you get into the medical world, you have to prove, um, what you say you're doing, in the way of monitoring the process, and it's a validated process as well. So we start with a base chassis, and then we add all the bells and whistles, what we call process monitoring and controls around your validated parameters, which are typically time, temperature, and pressure. There can be rates associated with that as well. And then we also would like to know what clean room. We build and design our equipment to class 7 and 8, which is 10,000, 100,000 particulates per million.
Okay.
So, yeah. So just we're adding on the requirements needed to meet a medical manufacturing machine.
Okay, excellent. Including the reporting and the security of the data in the machine?
Correct. Correct. Yep. We can get 21 CFR compliance if you would like, and then we can also track um, the user, whatever user logged in, anything that might have changed while they were logged in.
Okay, excellent. So the system uses a single roll of film,
Mhm.
and which is then folded to create what you call a secure aseptic seal.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit, again, coming more from knowing flow wrappers from the food industry. I'm a little bit more familiar with the term hermetic seal.
Sure.
Is an aseptic seal the same as a hermetic seal?
An aseptic seal is a hermetic seal because it's airtight. So hermetic is
Okay,
airtight, but aseptic, there's kind of two folds to that. They use the term aseptic as a way of saying that it's a sterile barrier to bugs and to bear to the bugs migrating into the product. But also there's a factor of for the nurse and the doctor that they need an aseptic opening, which means a peelable pouch typically and presented in a way where it's not contaminated. So this is
okay,
what this pouch, this side seal is making an aseptic opening pouch for a bandage.
okay,
So
excellent.
mhm, mhm.
And when you refer to barrier to the bugs, you're talking about the microbes. We're not actually talking about like cockroaches or anything like
Correct,
that.
correct. Yep,
Okay.
microbes. Yep,
All right.
microorganisms.
Microbes. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Excellent. So when the machine folds it, that folded edge doesn't get sealed. That's what it looked like in the photo, correct?
No, it does not get sealed. Nope, it's just folded over. It's only sealed on three sides. We can
Okay.
look at a video real fast. Here's
Yep.
what we call the folding box. So your roll of material is coming around this nice smooth uh, tool, and it's folding the
Hmm.
package now, so around the product. So underneath,
Okay. From roll
yep.
stock.
And so this is the edge that you were questioning about that is not sealed. That's just folded over from the material. And now underneath here is where we're making the seal across. And this seal can be of any pattern you would like. Typically, people choose Chevron because it looks more like a pre-made bag and what they're already ordering. And then we're
And it
making the
helps
two
with
end seals.
aseptic transfer, correct? The chevron.
Yeah, yes, it helps with that. The peel open characteristics as well, yes.
Okay.
Mhm. And then now we're making the end seals.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's a heat seal. So
Heat
the
at
film
time and
is
pressure. Yeah,
okay.
and as you can see here, what we have is what we call a box motion, which allows you to really dial in your parameters for time, temperature, and pressure for sealing. So we're following
Okay.
the material along to ensure that we're holding the correct time and pressure.
Okay. Excellent. And the seal, when it's being made, that also splits the two packs at that point.
Yes, makes a cut as
Okay.
well. Mhm.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for showing that. So you referred to it just a second ago about the integrating the Tyvek webbing.
Mhm.
Could you explain a little bit more about that and the reason to do it the way that you're doing it with a Tyvek webbing instead of like a full layer?
Yeah. So, jumping back to the pre-made bags that you're buying from a vendor or converter, that is an extra as a added cost, to converting your material. So, and you can use much less Tyvek if you integrate it and move the converting into the machine of the bag
Mhm.
making. So here you can see we have a really small um, reel of Tyvek that we're welding into place. We're first perforating the material, which I think we'll show you here. We're perforating the polyfilm so to allow the gas to penetrate, and then we're welding the Tyvek. There we go. So you can see here,
Okay.
these are the perforating wheels.
Yeah.
We're perfing the polyfilm, and then we're welding the Tyvek over that. So now that'll allow the gas permeability. So in short, moving your conversion of the Tyvek web into your packaging process onto the equipment would save you on a piece price cost. And that, you know, is all based on volumes, and how
Sure.
you quantities of film you order. But that's the cost driver, and you're moving your quality into a process that you have control of.
Okay. Are you able to control where that web falls on
Sure. Yes.
the pouch? Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. All right. And I know you said it kind of depends, but any idea or range of cost savings by going to the Tyvek webbing instead of a full layer of Tyvek?
Yeah, I think I would still say probably in that 20 to 50% range is what I've seen historically.
That's pretty slick how it's added during the packaging process, which again, is pretty efficient doing it online instead of a secondary operation like that.
Agreed. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any concerns or challenges from a sterilization point of view, though, for the medical company when they switch to the Tyvek webbing instead of like a full layer of Tyvek?
So that you would need to, work with your local microbiologist, or the microbiologist that is doing your sterilization. They will do an impact analysis so they know the transmission rates through the current amount of Tyvek you have, the volume of empty space that you're trying to fill with the gas. So that I cannot, give you any, cost savings wise on that, but you'd have to really work, or impact analysis. You have to work with your own design team in house to find that out. But I can tell you, it's not a hurdle that isn't overcome currently today. So all of our customers are moving from pre-made bags to a roll stock machine for capacity expansion and cost savings. So
Okay,
and there are also, I just add in there are other
sure.
companies out there that can help you with the change, and um, helping you understand what impacts and what testing you might have to redo. So companies like PCL or Canyon Labs, those are the companies that are third party, that would help you, and they're experts that have done this over and over in the industry.
Okay.
Mhm.
And for the most part, with the customers that you're working with, or the customers that would be interested in this particular system, whenever they make a change to the package, they'd have to revalidate it anyway, package or process.
Correct.
So,
At least do an
yeah.
impact analysis, right, and understand where your
Okay.
risk is.
All right. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of what specific medical products are appropriate for using this system?
Yeah, this exact model that we've shown with the features with the integrated Tyvek welding is more for low profile wound therapy products, like bandages or negative wound therapy where you have a little bandage with the hole and you have a vacuum pump. So low profile products and that need an aseptic opening. Where we sell a
Hmm.
lot of these machines though is in the diagnostic kit market. Um, you know, at-home tests or COVID tests, flu tests, things like that, or just at-home diagnostic tests that need to have a um, an opening, but they may need to have nitrogen flush. So this machine has that capability. That's one thing we should have probably touched on, but in
Nice.
the diagnostic world, you do need to flush with nitrogen sometimes to, and also measure the amount of oxygen within each package. And some customers will add a a desiccant for oxygen absorbent or moisture.
Sure.
And
Okay.
mhm,
As we talk about the process that the product goes through to get into the package, I know it's a horizontal flow wrap machine,
mhm,
so the
mhm,
products are being loaded horizontally, right? And
correct.
that's one of the reasons why you need it to be low profile.
We need it to be low profile for this type of folding over where you wanted to keep the bag real small in regards
Okay,
to the product. But there is not really that much of a restriction in height for the diagnostic kits. I think we do have restrictions, but I mean, it's not. You can go a lot higher. I would say at least a couple inches taller for
okay,
this type of product. As you know, this machine is really geared towards making the bag look like a pre-made bag versus the candy bar wrapper, which we have those machines as well, where you have the fin seal on the bottom or top.
right, right.
Mhm.
Nice. So the product loading in the video
Mhm.
is automatic. You've got an in-feed conveyor feeding the products in. Could it also be by hand, depending on volume or, what the
It can.
customer wants? Okay.
Yeah, what was
Um,
shown in the video is a three belted in-feed system to help separate and pitch the product correctly into the machine,
okay.
um, mimicking what the those bandages would have been coming off an automatic machine and then just fed onto a belt. And they can be chaotic, and then we would adjust the spacing. Um, Traditionally, if you're going to manually load one of these wrappers, we would have an in-feed belt that would have pushers, and it would be pitched, and you'd know exactly where to load the product.
Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot more to it as far as
sure.
like the timing and uh, the stages as the machine goes through. But with a automatic infeed, it's an automated system, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, excellent. Thanks. Are the packaging speeds a little bit faster versus the pre-made bags, filling the pre-made bags?
They can be, yeah. I mean, think about hand stuffing a pouch and then using a sealer. Um, it's a little bit more manual process, and your operator is pacing the manufacturing, right?
Right.
Um, However, we're still probably in the 20 to 60 part per minute range is the average, just based on seal characteristics of materials. We do a lot of heavy gauge foil in the diagnostic world, and
Mm-hmm.
those seals take a lot more time than just a regular poly bag. But yeah, we're around 20 to 60. If you don't need a aseptic seal, I mean, we have machines that go up to 600 parts per minute. So
Wow, that's quite a range.
yeah.
Um, uh, so is the footprint of the machine an selling point for operations that would use it?
We keep them as compact as possible, and we do have, options to make a machine curve around a corner. We make our own conveyor belts, so we'll make it fit within reason. We also have the capability to do 3D rendering. So if you give us a layout of your facility, we'll drop in what we think the machine will look like. But on average, a packaging machine's around 20 to 30 feet without any auxiliary equipment added to it.
Okay, the 3D thing is a pretty cool benefit.
Yeah, yeah, because really in the medical world, we're trying to not only sell the customer the solution, they're having to sell their internal management the solution. So by helping them visualize how this machine would interact in their facility, it's a helpful driver.
Okay. Are there any other production concerns that the system addresses that I haven't thought to ask about? I
Yeah,
don't want to limit it, but maybe integration with either upstream, downstream equipment, but I don't want to limit it to that. Any other production
no,
stuff?
that's a good point. And a lot of our customers don't really know us for the upstream and downstream processes, but we do offer those as well. So we have automatic loading capabilities, and also downstream case packing and palletizing added to our offering. But if you're going to use Allen Bradley, that's something to let us know ahead of time, because we do have the option do a full Rockwell Allen Bradley machine for you.
Okay. Nice.
And then calibrations, so these machines are intended to be calibrated on a yearly or whatever schedule that the company is tied to. But we have options to make that calibration a little bit easier by having some remote access points on the equipment.
Okay. All right. The system's only been out for a short period of time, correct?
This side seal version with the integrated Tyvek welding or medical paper welding, yes. But the Arctic side seal machine has been around. I've only been here 3.5 years, so I couldn't. It's been here longer than me, but yeah, it's been around for a while. Yeah, it's a proven technology, and just on references, I think we make around 900 flow wrappers a year that leave our factory. So we've been doing this
how many in the medical area?
I would say about
for the
20%
medical
of that.
markets.
Yeah, 20% of that.
All right.